Third place is up for grabs this weekend as Manchester United host Crystal Palace in what could be Oliver Glasner's final visit to Old Trafford. Palace are not having a great season, but you never want to take anything for granted in the Premier League. Can we put them to the sword, or will their attacking overloads in wide areas overwhelm us? Has Benjamin Sesko done enough to earn a place in the starting 11? Is this another potential audition for Adam Wharton? We're going to answer all these questions today. We're going to look at some news as well. This is United versus Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and we are talking tactics, team news, starting 11s, and score predictions as we preview this one. Welcome back to the channel. This is your first time. Let us know where you're from. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to introduce yourself as well. I like to meet all the new people when they show up. But let's get stuck in, you guys. I will be right back. I'll leave you with this one. What is going on, everybody? How's everybody's Friday going? It is Friday. It is a beautiful day out. I don't know where you guys are, but for me, beautiful, low 50s, sunny, bluebird skies, not a cloud in sight. And if you eagle-eyed UVE members probably have seen that I was out kicking a ball around earlier today. I just can't help myself. I know I make fun of Michiganders earlier this week for going out golfing and stuff, but today, you know what? It was too nice. I mean, by 10:30 or so, it was already beautiful outside. So want to make sure I take advantage of it. When you get to be my age, you do have to shake off some of that rust in between. And so I want to make sure I shake that off, get that groin stretched out, get the legs going, get the back going. So by the time that I actually do go and play, I will be already rust free. But big up everybody. Who's in the house today? Danny B's in the house. Big up, Danny. Hope you're doing well. Let us know what you guys have going on this weekend. Let us know what you got going on Friday night. Is anybody out there doing big things, or are you guys all like me and just old and introverted and ready to just chill tonight, watch a movie, make some popcorn? I might go get some ice cream later. I don't eat ice cream very often, but I do like me some ice cream. Let us know what your favorite ice cream flavor is. Mine is definitely cookies and cream, but you have to have a lot of cookies in there. If you don't have enough cookies, then it's just vanilla ice cream. But there's a place nearby that does a black and golden Oreo kind of cookies and cream. So they've got the golden Oreos and the black Oreos all mixed. It's so good. I might have to run over there and get some. But hopefully everyone's doing well. Stephanie's in the house. Big up, Steph. Hope you are doing well today. Bold prediction, United score 5. Big up. Well, big up yourself. 5 is a big one. Yes, we will be doing predictions. I want to know your starting 11s, and then we're going to take a look at both sides and everything. But first, you guys know we always start with news, but always want to start with seeing who's in. So let's talk some news here. So in potential transfer news, Scouts Attending. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Scouts Attending. It is a good little account to follow on X if you guys ever do. It's an online account that keeps us all updated on which clubs have scouts in attendance for various matches throughout, Europe and the world. So obviously, as its name implies, but the account has reported that Manchester United has had scouts present for the match this week between Genk and Dynamo Zagreb. That was yesterday, I believe. I can't remember now off the top of my head if that was Europa League or Conference League, but apparently United had scouts present for that. Now, I posted yesterday ahead of all kickoffs that several players that I've scouted throughout, the last several months, almost a year now on the channel. Many of those were in action yesterday. Ibrahima Bangura at Genk, Zakaria El-Ouadi at Genk, a right back. So Bangura is a center midfielder, El-Ouadi is a right back. Both players I really like. If the rumors are true that maybe we're looking at right backs, then we could do a lot worse than El-Ouadi. He's got 7 goals, 3 assists in all comps this season. Bangura would definitely tick that midfield box. I don't know if I trust him to start in the Premier League just yet, but he definitely come in and be a backup probably. It's too bad that Carretzas was not fit. I think he was out for concussion protocol, because I would have loved to seen us maybe scouting him. I think he can be a very good master stroke alternative to someone like Matthias Mane or Gibbs White, kind of in that roaming kind of 10 anywhere. He's played more on the right wing these days, Carretzas, but he is more of a roaming 10. Different to Bruno Fernandes in that he's not like a straight up playmaker. He is more of a mobile 10, kind of like where I see Cunha maybe when Bruno goes. But But maybe we're also looking at 26-year-old striker Dan Heymans. Maybe that's who our scouts are in attendance watching. Maybe we looking for a Xerxes replacement. Heymans did score again. He's on 12 goals, 5 assists in all comps. But let us know if there's anybody at Genk or Dynamo Zagreb that you would like to United to sign. Because reportedly we did have scouts in attendance. We also did a scouting report on a Zagreb center back. He was not playing yesterday, though, unfortunately. Big up Rob Taff in the house. Hope you are doing well. Hope you guys are all having a good week at Friday. Let us know what you guys got going on. Let us know your favorite ice cream flavor. Like I said, mine is definitely cookies and cream. Heavy on the cookies. Debasi's in the house. He's here better early than ever. Big up, Debasi. Yeah, I'm glad to see the chat's working today because YouTube was doing a madness the other day when Dylan and I had our kickabout on Wednesday because, yeah, YouTube was just all sorts of messed up. Thank you, Steph. Appreciate that. Yes, we did hit 3K subs last was it Monday? We were doing the watch along. We hit it live during that watch along. So now we're on the road to 4K. It does feel weird to say that, right? But hey, you guys are absolute legends. You kept sharing, you kept liking, you kept coming back. I must be doing something right. Really, it's your guys' channel anyway. So big up yourselves on getting us to 3K. Now the new goal is 4K. I like to see us do it before the end of the season. Super ambitious, I know, but I believe in you guys. Let's see. Saeed, big up Saeed. Palace is our bogey team. They can be. Obviously, it's been a little bit more Palace. I was at the match a couple years back at Old Trafford under Ten Hag when we were lining up with like Amrabat as left back, and we ran out with 1-0 loss there. It was not great, but we did beat them early in the season. Couple little mini stories in here as well. We're going to get to that. We're still talking about the news. You know, who at Genk and who at Zagreb might you guys like? But yes, I do appreciate the early live likes. It always does help the channel reach more people. Love to see the new faces in there. Big up, Michael. Hope your daughter's doing well, man. Just dropped in to say hi. Still at the hospital. Oh, dude. Sorry, man. I hope that everything's okay. Hope you don't mind. Maybe just, quick thoughts and prayers for Michael and his daughter. Hopefully, everything works out, man. But she's really lucky to have a dad like you there who's with her and just putting in that time. I know that's for a lot of people that seems like an obvious thing, but putting in the time, showing up, I think is the key for anything. Anytime you're spending time with young people in life in any way, in any walk of life, showing up. And it sounds like she's got herself a winner, man. So big up. But we are praying for your daughter, man. The bossy likes chocolate and nuts, but I stopped on ice cream 20. Yeah, I really shouldn't eat it. I'm a little bit lactose intolerant. I don't eat it very often. I eat it like maybe a handful of times a year, but I am the kind of person though, if I'm going to do something wrong, I'm going to do it right. So if I get ice cream, it's like fancy ice cream. Smets is another one we've scouted on the channel. Good call. Young center back. It seems weird that we've been linked to so many young center backs. I feel like we have a lot. Obviously, if you came to the Kickabout show on Wednesday, Dylan and I did our 200 million summer rebuild for United. You might have seen some surprise that I picked the center back. I kind of went a little ruthless, very uncharacteristic for myself in that show. Go check it out if you haven't yet. And then there's a post too where in a poll you can go vote for which one of us had the better rebuild, Dylan or me. Good answer. So far I am winning, but go check that out. Yeah, we are wishing best thoughts and prayers for Michael and his daughter, man. Yeah, that's hopefully she's doing well, man. But yeah, scouts in attendance. Moving on. So we're still in the dark as to who our next permanent manager is going to be, or head coach, I guess is what we're calling it these days. It's semantics, right? It is what it is. Some people want Michael Carrick to be given the job at full time. A lot of people think he's earned it. I personally don't. I don't think that if we can't say sack a manager after 5 or 6 games, I don't know if you can automatically 100% say hire somebody full time after 6 games. I think, and this isn't me like harkening back to Ollie. This is just me in general. I would feel this way about anything, but some people think Carrick's done enough. Others want someone like Luis Enrique or even Carlo Ancelotti. Keep dreaming, not happening. I don't know if Ancelotti would be a great fit anyway. Luis Enrique, I really liked Hansi Flick. I'm cooling on Hansi Flick and his stubborn adherence to a high line, but Ben Jacobs seems to think that another name is thrown into the rumor mill. He claims that United have internally discussed Portugal boss Roberto Martinez as they create their shortlist for next head coach. He is expected to leave Portugal. Yeah, that's a big no for me. I am all set on Roberto Martinez. I've never really rated him as a manager personally. He hasn't managed a club in like a decade. I think the best he's done really is in the Premier League when he's get Everton to what, like sixth, seventh. I can't remember now. It's been well over a decade, right, since he's done that. I think he just kind of plays boring football. He had Belgium's golden generation looking like they were made out of pyrite. If you know, you know. And we all know that Ben Jacobs isn't exactly tier one when it comes to United related rumors. But what do you guys make of Roberto Martinez? Let me know what you think here. Let me get caught up on the chat here. Stephanie says, I bet McTominay's favorite ice cream is Neapolitan. It's so funny. It's a funny story because growing up, my parents would sometimes get Neapolitan ice cream, and I don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't really like a lot of sweet things. Like I don't like candy. I don't like soda or pop. But I used to love strawberry ice cream. And I would get in so much trouble all the time because they would buy it, but I'd only scoop out the strawberry. I wouldn't scoop any other flavors. So everyone else would go to eat it, and there'd be no strawberry left, and there would just be like full 100% vanilla, 100% chocolate, and I would just hear Sean. I'm like, I didn't like chocolate. I don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't really like a lot of sweet stuff. So, Mark's in the house. Big up, Marks. He says he's in talks for the job. Well, hey, we could do a lot worse, my friend. Big up. Hope you're doing well, man. Mark was one of the eagle-eyed community members who saw me kicking a ball around on my post earlier. I couldn't resist the nice weather, man. Really couldn't. So, Sean for United manager. No, I don't want that kind of. I would definitely take over as director of football or somebody head of recruitment, though. That would be a little. So I just have more fun doing that than coaching. Let someone else handle the coaching. Saeed says he ruined Belgium's golden generation. Can you look back? Like, who did Belgium have in that golden generation? Like Hazard, De Bruyne was in there, Lukaku. They had the Alderweireld back there, Vertonghen back there as well, Courtois, and just didn't. I think, what did they get to? Quarterfinals, semifinals one year, and that was about it. I don't remember now off the top of my head. Obviously, being an American, I don't really like root for Belgium necessarily, but it's just interesting, right? Rob thinks that given our poor finances, Carrot could stay on. Yeah. If we qualify for Champions League, you never know. That's a lot of automatic revenue. We are hopefully going to be getting a sleeve sponsor because ours runs out this summer. We do still need a training kit sponsor, so that's more revenue as well. Obviously, we just posted financial results. We did get some record revenue as well. We are still accumulating debt. That's nothing new under the sun. We already knew all that. So we are making money. Obviously, not being in any competitions past, the opening round, literally the opening matches of the domestic cups does hurt revenue. Having matches, especially matches at home, that's revenue, and that's why missing out on Champions League is such a big deal. That's four matches guaranteed at home extra, and you split it with other ones. So Bossy thinks Ben Jacobs is bluffing. He'll always be second tier journo with the United stand. Yeah, it's always a little iffy with Ben Jacobs. You never know, but it's most of the time it's never me thinking that it's true. It's me just wanting to get your thoughts. Just hear what you have to say. Like we talked about center backs the other week. I don't buy for 1 second that we're actually looking at guys like Kalulu or Schlotterbeck. I like Schlotterbeck. I just don't buy, but it's always nice to get thought. Build's not a very good source in that. Back in that, Build's like the sun basically. Danny says F no. Strawberry milk. I've never had. Is that like what's that pink stuff? That pink strawberry yoo-hoo or something? Is that what that kind of stuff is? I can't drink milk. I haven't drank milk in 15 years, besides almond milk, and I don't really drink it. I just use it in cereal now. Cereal is my favorite food, so it is what it is. I know it's very boring. Devices. On the other hand, Martinez would be a nice yes sir man to Wilcox and Vivell. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. I just think he doesn't play good football. I've never seen anything from Roberto Martinez that I thought like, yeah, he's a good manager. So Rob says Wales smashed them in Euro 26. Big up Wales. Yeah, he did. He didn't manage to do enough with that golden generation. Like I said, he made them look like they were made out of pyrite. If you know what pyrite is, you should be laughing right now. If you're not laughing, then you hurt my feelings. Fellaini doesn't count. I will not have any Fellaini slander on this channel. Fellaini, I would trust Fellaini to catch an infant with his chest. That man had the best chest control I've ever seen in my life. Advisors like if they say if it's not Ornstein and Romano, maybe Laurie. I'm definitely not interested. Yeah, you never know. There are some decent ones out there. You just have to do your research. You got to look for more than just the headline or the tweet. Always look to see where people are getting it from. Don't believe anything from Caught Offside, Team Talk, for Kahes for sure. Build. Don't buy any of that kind of stuff because it's all just according to sources or we understand like it's not really anything. So Mark says, if you watch this week's overlap, he didn't show any signs of wanting the job. Yeah, I didn't. I kind of half watched that episode. Just that's how boring Roberto Martinez is. I didn't really. I was like half watching it while I was doing other stuff, and so I didn't hear everything. I just some of those episodes are hit or miss for me. I do like watching them, but lately, some of them lately have not been great. But yeah, Roberto Martinez, it's a big no from me. But real quick, what is the deal with all this Benfica Vinicius Jr. racism stuff that's been going on? I know we spoke about it very, very briefly last week, but it's like gotten worse, right? So obviously Prestiani and Mourinho got sent off for their second leg tie, right? He was down. Prestiani was banned and it like kind of a provincial kind of a thing from their second leg as well, which some people were not happy with because that, usually they thought that kind of looked like it was guilty or until proven innocent kind of a thing. It is what it is, but like I saw that Nicolas Otamendi's brother posted something on Instagram. He since deleted it and set his account to private now. King hell, man. Some people, I'm not going to describe it or show you what he posted because it's absolutely disgusting. You can Google it if you want, but I don't get some people. Racism is just weird. I have no idea why people do that. Rob says, who is a Belgian player with the mohawk on the tattoos? I know who you're talking about. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue too. Crap on a stick. I forgot what that guy's name is. I know who you're talking about. Played, I think he was at Roma for a hot second. It's going to come to me later on in the middle of the show. I know exactly who you're talking about, though, but I just don't remember who it was off the top of my head. It's going to bug me, though. Belgian player, Mohawk. Nangolan. Yep, Raja Nangolan. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue, but yeah, that's who you're talking about. 7 likes, 30 people watching, guys. Let's hit that like button for me. It does make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside when people do that. So, but yeah, the racism stuff, Otamendi's brother, like, I don't get it. But speaking of Real Madrid, the draw for the next round of Champions League was done early this morning. What do you guys make of that? We've got some big matchups in there. Somehow Real Madrid always seem to get drawn against Man City. It always seems to happen. City fans will maintain that they didn't lose that season, that they somehow didn't win it, yet they didn't lose. Don't understand that math. The math ain't math in there. But any interesting ones? Obviously, big up Jarvis if you're watching. Bodo get Sporting. That could be a very fun little match. Bodo could be the story of the season here in terms of Champions League. They are on a tear, and they've already beaten some big teams. They've beaten City. Obviously, they knocked out Atalanta recently as well. Atletico Madrid. They they beat Atletico Madrid. They didn't knock them out. Spurs getting Atletico could be a very good matchup to watch. Newcastle versus Barcelona could be a bit of a formality. PSG Chelsea would be really fun, a bit of a rematch for that Club World Cup nonsense. Keep an eye on Galatasaray versus Liverpool. That could be a very interesting one. Galatasaray actually look really good right now. Liverpool are not the best. Do not be surprised if Liverpool get knocked out. Bayern. It's funny that Bayern didn't get Arsenal, but Arsenal get to play Leverkusen. Could be a fun, little interesting round. Any early predictions for any of this, you guys? Let me know what you think here. Let me get involved in here and see what's going on. Yeah, Rob used to sign him on FIFA. We were linked to him a long time ago. I mean, who weren't we linked to? Let's be honest with you. Remember, we were linked to guys like Strootman, and then obviously Schneider and everybody. We've been linked to a lot of players. Who was the other guy? Krakowiak. Remember Krakowiak? We were linked to him about 10 years ago under Van Gaal. Saeed says Madrid have no chance of winning the UFA. Yeah, their defense. I mean, literally, they've got injuries left and right. Militao always seems to be injured. I don't know. I mean, Alaba, you can say it's a hit or miss. He was free, but he was injured. He's injury prone. Rudiger has probably been their best signing in years, and he was a free agent too. Rudiger is one of the better center backs I've seen in a while. I would have loved for us to maybe make a go for him, but Madrid just seem to always want to buy like tens and midfielders, and I don't get it. Carvajal's still kicking around down there. They've got Valverde playing right back these days and whatnot. I think that they are struggling. They do look the weakest they've looked in a little while, but you never want to count out Real Madrid. They're just stacked with players, and literally, guys like Mbappe can be the majority. Vinicius can be the majority no matter what. It's in some cases. Remember, it used to be Modric +1 is always going to win you games. The guy was just an absolute phenom. I think he's at AC Milan now. But PSG, Chelsea, I have to favor PSG there. If I'm being honest, he's just like they're. I mean, they're reigning champions. They're stacked to the rafters with talent. I don't think Chelsea are all that great. They have like no strikers that I would trust. I wouldn't take João Pedro personally. I do think Galatasaray could sneak one out against Liverpool. City and Madrid will be interesting. Justin will obviously be watching that one for sure. Rob says, seen people moaning that Arsenal had the easiest draw. Well, we'll see. Arsenal's biggest claim to fame under Arteta so far has been knocking Real Madrid out of the Champions League. It's literally the most success they've had. So Sanchi's in the house. Big up, Sanchi. Another very active member in the UVE WhatsApp group. Members starting 11 and Legends members can join in on the WhatsApp group because just because the stream ends does not mean that the conversation has to. Stevie says Chelsea, PSG. Yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be a really good one. Danny thinks that Bodo will beat Sporting. Yeah, they could. I mean, never count out Bodo, man. They are obviously Jens Peter Hauge's having an amazing season. I did a scouting report on him a few months back. Patrick Berg is a really very just steady Eddie presence in that midfield, just always just doing what he's like a metronome, Patrick Berg. He just keeps things ticking, rhythm, always an option, always just to kind of a get out of a jail free card when they're under pressure. And obviously Hogue, their striker, is having a really good season as well. DeBas says, I'm not worried about Arsenal reaching finals. I never worry about Arsenal doing anything, quite frankly. Mark's in the house. Yes, hit the like. Yes, go check out United Lens, you guys, when you get a check-in. Not right now, because that would be rude, but Rob says, I think it's a record of 9 EPL teams in the European. Yeah, and this is what we said last season, that physically Premier League sides they're just a level above a lot of other sides in Europe. And I think the way you're seeing football tactics now, it is more physical, it is more pace and power, it is a bit more old school. And I do think that gives English sides a leg up. That's why, Spurs and United got to the Europa League final. Usually the Premier League sides go pretty deep in Champions League as well. And you've got sides getting through to the conference. I don't really rate the Conference League either, but yeah, I think we're just out physicaling everybody. If I can make up a word on the fly, that's cool. Debasti says Madrid and Bayern in the semis. There could be some good matches going on in there. I do like that. Saeed says hopefully Chelsea and Liverpool advance so we get top 4 easier. Yeah, I mean, obviously the coefficient, right? I think most people seem to think it's going to be top 5 this season. It's always one of those weird things. This is why I can't do fantasy sports, Saeed, because I'm like, I can't do fantasy because I can't have a player from another club and want them to do well just so it helps my fantasy team. So I've got you on the one hand, you maybe want them to go far in these competitions, but the other hand, it is a luck of the draw. A good draw is that's why I rate the league higher than European competition right now. But so it's always at risk, but it always is funny though, because the other side of that coin, okay, let's say Arsenal go deep. I always look at it like, well, that just means they're going to be like drawn between 2 competitions. They're going to kind of overextend themselves, and I don't see them winning it anyway. So that makes the heartache that much more sweet, personally. So it is kind of becoming that way, isn't it? For a while there, it was Liverpool and City, and it did kind of have that kind of La Liga kind of vibe to it for a hot second. We'll see what happens with City. A lot of stuff been going on recently with City and the 115 charges, and all of that. I know that they were speaking about it on the overlap with the fan debate and whatnot. Kieran Maguire's been talking about it a lot recently. Stephen Borson's been talking about it recently as well. If you watch Rory Jennings, who I don't know why the Chelsea fan is doing exclusive videos on United, but hey, when you're big, hated, adored, never ignored, right? But it's what it is. But so yeah, get in your early shouts for any predictions for Champions League, any dark horses, any surprise. Don't be surprised to see Bodo go through. Definitely don't be surprised to see Galatasaray beat Liverpool. I think that Galatasaray have shown, and I'm not just saying that because they beat us in Champions League. I was at that Champions League match a couple years ago at Old Trafford when Galatasaray beat us. I had a very close bird's eye view of the whole Onana Casemiro faux pas that gave away a pen. The whole ground was littered with Galatasaray fans. My cab driver the next morning was a Galatasaray fan. It was not a good trip for me. It was the last time I go there by myself, but you have to have someone kind of share the load of misery, but it is what it is. Let's dive into this match, you guys. Don't forget, too, final day for 20% off in the United vs. Everybody store. You can get stuff like the OG green and gold. You can also get the new Sesko shirt that I just put out there yesterday, so go check it out. Let's talk about this match, you guys. Like, subscribe, please. Love it. Because we haven't had the best luck against Palace in recent years, as Saeed pointed out earlier. They can be a bit of a bogey side. I wasn't confident that we would get a result there early in the season. We ended up doing just fine. We did manage to beat them 2-1 at their ground, but before that, it's not been great. Like I said, I was at that 1-0 loss at Old Trafford a couple years back. It was not great. That was then, though. This is now. The two sides are in very different places right now. Palace are 13th right now, 35 points. A win could see them shoot up to 9th, but a loss could see them drop a spot and even be overtaken by Brighton. By the way, did not realize that Brighton were way down there. I didn't realize Brighton were doing so poorly. Like, I just haven't looked at where they were in the table. They are way down there. Anyway, I digress. United, we're now back and forth after Sesko and the rest of our new attack force dragged the rest of those bums to a result against Everton. Seriously, that match was just a disgrace. I was not happy. But we are 3 points ahead of Chelsea, who do play Arsenal this weekend. So this could be a big, big result for us. Just 3 points off Villa in third. If we win and Villa don't manage to beat Wolves, we go third. Let's fucking go. Let me get caught up on this chat, you guys. What we got going on here? Tabasi says Gonana's coming back. Yeah, he's definitely not. Technically, yes, but he's not staying. Let's be honest here. We'll get like 15, 20 million for him and he'll be out the door. Stephanie says, I think Chidi will get clobbered only when Pep departs. That's why they don't want him to go. Well, City will have to do a bit of a rebuild. I mean, they've basically taken a calendar year to rebuild. They bought 4 players a year ago, January. They bought 2 more players this January. They keep spending this summer. They bought like 6 first-teamers this summer. They basically bought a whole new matchday squad in the last 12, 13 months. So, I mean, are we surprised, though? Let's be honest. They got to get all these players in before they get a transfer ban or something, right? And that's what we're hoping for. Did you see this stuff? Kieran Maguire was talking about a 60-point deduction if they get caught, which would put them bottom of the table on negative points. How hilarious would that be? Or would that just be too bad for the championship to have players in like that? I don't know. Look, Barry's in the house. Welcome back, Lawrence. Good to see you again. He says, I'm wondering what we can do about our pace wide. City seems to return to the 4-3 comforts of the past. Oh, Michael Carrick. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We didn't really do a whole lot of counterattacks against Everton. And a lot of that does have to do with how slowly we played. I think against Everton, it had a lot to do with how tired and just off it we looked. Personally, we just weren't moving. The tempo wasn't there. It looked like we were on spring break the day before. But you can see that Carrick is a big fan. And we'll talk about it. But I do think it has a lot to do with who you're playing. It has a lot to do with who you have on the pitch. And it does have a lot to do with your tempo, because it doesn't matter how fast Mbumo is. Doesn't matter how fast Cunha is or Ahmad, whoever. If you're not getting the ball up there quickly, then there's no space to work with. And so it's kind of like they kind of get nullified a little bit. But I hear you. Big up, Lawrence. Welcome back, though. Rob thinks 115 needs to happen before the summer. I mean, we're still waiting on it. It's been well over a year. I know a lot of us are trying to figure out what's going on, man. I don't need a points deduction. I don't need relegation. I don't need transfer bans. All I want is for everything that they've won during the time period in question to be asterisk. You call those seasons null and void. Nobody wins a trophy. Nobody take all the trophies away, because all you need is a couple of these charges to land, and it immediately brings everything into question. How would they have been able to sign some of these players who've won matches and won trophies for them and whatnot? And then you start to deep it, and then you really have a lot of questions. But take away everything they've won, and I'm happy. Let them stay in the Premier League. Let them buy players, but take away everything they won. Basically make them start from scratch again in terms of success. No more Centurions, no more treble, no more nothing. So Stevie says beating Palace will be our first double this season. There's a little bit of trivia for you guys. Another little bit of trivia for you guys while we're talking about it. Who is the most expensive signing under Sir Alex Ferguson? Let me know. Don't Google it. Don't cheat. Just let me know how you're doing. Uh-oh. We still here? All right, cool. Somebody said internet's gone. Don't know what's going on there. Lawrence says City Trophy is just an oasis in the desert. I see what you did there. Even if you don't realize it, but I do think you did. So let's talk about more about this match. So Palace, what can we expect from them? They are fourth in the Premier League for open play XG, but they are the second lowest number of passes. So what does that tell you? They get the ball forward now and then. They don't spam balls forward. They really pick their chance. But when they do, they've got a good chance of getting it. They wait for the best pass, basically. They want to stretch the opposition by staggering their players in the central area to create very vertical passing lanes. 36% of Palace's passes are vertical. They don't play a super high volume of side to sides. But we looked at this chart the other day, and I'll bring it up again. But you can see I've highlighted Palace for you. This is the percentage of time that teams in the Premier League set up out of possession. Now Palace, the more red is below or above. So look at that mid block. Mid block is where they're going to live. We got to be careful for that. They're going to set up in that midfield shape, and they are going to do a lot of cutting off passing lanes, a lot of aiming to win that ball back, a lot of kind of swarming that middle of the pitch. We've got to be able. Now, the mid block can be bypassed if you move the ball quickly, but they are going to set up in a mid block more frequently than anything else. You can see they will try to maybe win the ball in high positions, but it's most of the time dark blue mid block. That's where they camp out. That is where they live. Slow build up. They want to draw you in, and then again, vertical passes to play through that space that you vacate and exploit that. Look for their no-nonsense wingbacks to be very active, and they play to their strengths of their wingbacks. The wingbacks is where they're going to do. They've got, their role for Palace is pretty much to hold the width. Mitchell, you can see Tyreek Mitchell on the right-hand side, Daniel Munoz on the left-hand side. Going down, this is where their wingbacks are going to play. They're going to get very involved high up the pitch, create wide overloads, and really overwhelm our wide defenders. This worries me with someone like Dallo because he's just garbage defensively. But again, wingback role for Palace is to hold the width, make runs, play with limited touches on the ball. They're basically wingers. Get them the ball, they're going to put it in the area. The way that Palace play is designed to provide their wingbacks with space to run into, because, again, playing the ball through the center is what draws opposition to central spaces and then allows a space wide for the wingbacks to get into. Then they're going to put the ball wide to get their wingbacks involved. Munoz, in particular, is like top of the charts when it comes to most high-speed distance covered this weekend. He makes runs into the box as well. We have to keep a lookout for their wingbacks. That is going to be key for them. Depassi says, I want Cunha, Bruno. Rob says, Lacroix starting last night was a surprise. He had been injured. Yeah, I was a little surprised too, and obviously he scored a goal as well, so what are you going to do? Danny says, Wolves to do us a favor tonight. Would love that. Would love Wolves to take some points off Villa. Now, if you look at Crystal Palace's shape, it does look like your classic, 3-4-3 kind of a thing. 3 center backs, the double pivot, 1 player hugging each touchline, the wing backs, and you got the 2 10s and behind their new striker, Jakob Strand Larsen. Wharton is playing with a lot of shorter distances. He's got a lot of options ahead of him. His runners left, right, center, and repeatedly making runs into the areas. Guys like Sarr, guys like Munoz are constantly making runs. Wharton's passing, you can see it is mainly vertical. It's diagonal, but it's vertical. There's not a whole lot of side to side going on there. He's the guy who's going to be pulling the strings for them. Yeah, again, look for them to get that ball to him, but look for him to get that ball wide, get it forward as well. They are second to last for pass attempts, but seventh for through ball completion. Again, like I said, they don't play a high volume, but when they do play it forward, they play it vertically, and odds are they will find a teammate. They wait for the opportune moment, and they're patient. They'll suck you in with that mid block. They'll wait for you to get numbers in central areas, and then they'll get it wide and get it forward. That's just the way they're going to roll. We do have to look out for Adam Morton. We do. It's always difficult. Do you press him on the ball or do you cut off the passing lanes? I think that the midfield is where this game could be won and lost, but I do think that, again, Dallow worries me in wide positions because he's just not defensively sound. So we are going to need the wingers to track back and put in a shift as well. It just have to. There's no choices there. No Decore for them, no Lerma, no Nketiah either, and obviously no Mateta. So whether you want to say that's just if you believe the injuries or if you think that he's just, flat out refusing to play, it's your call. Ismail Assar is a danger. He's exactly the kind of forward that we tend to struggle with. Pacey, playing in those awkward kind of half spaces. He's like a winger turns like 10-ish, and so he does kind of play in a very dangerous spot that we've seen players cause us problems with in the past. So we're going to need to be on it. Again, like I said, Munoz, Mitchell will be a handful as well. We've seen time and time again how Dallow struggles to keep a lid on those wide attackers. He did it again the other day, just literally stood rooted to the spot against Everton while these attackers were running right by him. He has no footballing brain. He doesn't know what to do when to do it, Dallow, and it's going to be a problem. In the absence of Mateta, though, Palace brought in Strand Larson in January. I don't know whether they just needed 9 or that they wanted to assuage the fans or maybe try to convince Oliver Glasner. I don't know. But are you guys worried about Strand Larson? He's got 2 goals, 1 assist since he joined them. His goals were against Burnley and some Wi-Fi password club from the Conference League. No offense. Again, Adam Wharton, always a danger as well. Where do you stand on Adam Wharton, by the way, when we're talking about? Let me bring up Adam Wharton again real quick while we're talking about him. Where do you stand on him as an option for us in midfield? I've read rumors that he's got a gentleman's agreement that could see him leave for around 60 million if a Champions League club comes calling. Would he be an option for you guys? I like Wharton. For a hot second there earlier in the season, it was a bit of a coin toss between him and Elliot Anderson. I do think recently, though, Wharton has not been in great form. He can go missing sometimes, kind of drifts in and out of the action a little bit. His groin issue from a couple years ago does worry me. He hasn't had any real issues with it since, but he did have surgery. It always is a bit of a worry when players have big injuries. So Danny's not sold on Wharton. Yeah, I don't think he's bad. Again, like I said the other night, it was like going to a restaurant and getting a steak over like a hamburger. Like, I love hamburgers. I love steak. It doesn't mean I hate hamburgers. If I choose a steak, I'd rather get Anderson. You guys know that he is my number one choice. We did that 200 million pound rebuild video on Wednesday. Spoiler alert. Both Dylan and I chose Anderson as our number one pick going into that. So go watch that video if you haven't yet. It's a fun video, and vote in the poll after the fact to let us know why Dylan was wrong and why my picks are the best. Tobias says Villa always run out of fuel before the final lap. It will, Villa is struggling. They've got a lot of key players injured. Pretty much their entire main midfield. Tielemans, Kamara, McGinn, these guys are all injured. Any team's going to struggle when you're missing that many players. And he says winning the second breaking balls will be important. Yeah, Casemiro is going to need to be on it as well, kind of shield. It's going to be more of an off-the-ball kind of shift from guys like Manu and Casemiro. But again, look for the wide areas is where it's going to. We can't get sucked in to those central areas because that's exactly what Palace want you to do is get sucked in so they can play it wide to their wing backs. So stop that service or make sure you clear the danger, and I think we'll be all right. But yeah, what do you think about Wharton? Yay, nay, is he your first choice? Where does he rank on your list right now? He probably rank maybe like 3rd or 4th for me for midfielders, probably closer to 4th. It's Anderson, Tonali, and then I'm looking at guys like Hillman or like Mamadou Sangare, those kind of guys down there. Arthur Avon, maybe, who knows? What about United? We are on a bit of a run, aren't we? 5 wins in 6 matches under Michael Carrick, which I think when was the last time we all thought we'd win 2 in a row, let alone 5 wins in 6. 1 draw in there, no losses in the league since before Christmas. I shall be having that, and you're welcome, by the way. Since Dylan and I went there to Newcastle on Boxing Day, we have not lost a match, so I thank you. We pretty much know what to expect from Carrick these days. Given Palace's penchant for kind of sitting in a mid block and United's tendency to struggle to break down these blocks, do you think that Michael Carrick might change things up, though? We saw it against West Ham. We saw it against Everton. That is the sort of thing that does tend to cause us problems. And it's not like we just don't have the players. Sometimes it's the way we play. We're just up the tempo a bit, get that ball forward a little bit. You saw when we did get the ball forward, we moved the ball quickly, we created chances, but those chances tended to come with an actual out-and-out number 9 on the pitch in Benjamin Sesko. We don't seem to want to get the ball forward. We only did that like 3 or 4 times. So I'm worried that we could see a repeat of the way we struggled. I'm less concerned about a solution there, though, still, as I am about our fullbacks dealing with their wide players. Like, that's what's worrying me most about this. So I do need Dallow and Shaw to have good games. I do need our wingers to pitch in off the ball sometimes as well. But they also need to be ready to get on their bike if we win the ball back. As far as team news are concerned, what are you guys saying here? Danny says Wharton's maybe 5th choice. Yeah, I think the Premier League proven thing probably puts him over the edge for a lot of people. It just depends, because I like Stiller. I know you would listed Stiller. Dabasi says Stiller. I don't know if Stiller and Cobby can work, because Stiller he's not physical. If you look at his off the ball numbers, they're not great. He's definitely more of a playmaker, which is exactly sort of what Cobby's doing a little bit. So I would need someone next to Stiller, just like you need someone next to Cobby. But those are good picks. Buwadi's also a good one as well. Yeah, I mean, if Dorgu were fit, yeah, it would be great. But what are you going to do, man? Yeah, Sarr is a problem, Steph. He is exactly the kind of forward that causes problems. No Mason Mount. DeLitt hasn't played since the reverse fixture in November. Bruno, Casemiro, Mainu were all ghosts against Everton. Again, Palace will play the same way, getting the ball high up the pitch. Getting it from defense to midfield will be tough, so we need to move the ball a bit quicker, play with a bit higher tempo. I feel like I say that every week. What we saw against Everton, needless to say, will not cut it. We cannot walk in there like we did against Everton. We will get overwhelmed. What does your starting 11 look like, though? I want to know what your starting 11 would be for this one. What do you guys want to see Michael Carrick do? Are you still going with it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a thing? Or do you want to see Sesko get the start? My starting 11 has not changed since the last couple weeks. Obviously, I've had to change it with some injuries. Question mark over Licha. Obviously, Michael Carrick didn't seem to know if he's going to be ready for Sunday. They're going to assess it then over the next couple days. But obviously, if everyone's fit, this is what I'm going with right now. I always start Mizraoui over Dallow because I just don't rate Dallow. And I'm definitely dropping Ahmad. I think he did not have a great game against Everton. I just didn't think we really played we just didn't get the ball to him very much. He had to keep dropping deep. He was giving away a lot of cheap fouls in his own half because we just weren't getting the ball to him. And so I do think that having him and Mbumo sometimes on the pitch together in this system is a bit redundant, and I would prefer to have an out-and-out number 9. Sesko has to start for me. 3 at the back for Palace means an extra defender is on the pitch, and I want an out-and-out number 9 to take up the naturally dangerous positions that a striker takes up. And what this is going to do as well is create some space for Cunha and Mbumo to kind of operate in, because he's going to be making movements. He's going to be making runs. I'd love for him to win a couple of those long balls from Lamens, find some runners as well. That's really where he shines, is where he did at Leipzig. They played in the front 2, and it would alternate. Sometimes he would drop deep and win the ball, and sometimes it would be vice versa. I think it was, who's that Gift? Was that Gift Orban who was there? I can't remember now off the top of my head. But let's see here. Danny says going with the same team. Yeah, there's not much else I can do with that. So Dabasi agrees, same team, bench. Yeah, I'm definitely starting. Really, yeah, it's Ahmad who gets the bench for this one. We'll see. Danny Carrick couldn't give us an answer either way. They're going to keep an eye on it. He did say it was probably only a couple days, but it's just a matter if he'll be ready by that. Rob's got to go pick up his daughter. Big up, Rob. He's predicting a 3-1 win. Big up, Rob. Debasi says maybe Heaven over Licha. Heaven hasn't played in a while. Do you start him? Do you start Euro? Euro's had a decent match. He was kind of defending for his life to start, but over the course of the full 90, Euro did not have a bad game, I thought. I would like to see us not give away so many corners and free kicks in our own half. That we gave away 9 corners in the second half against Everton. We really, really, really pushed our luck there. We were lucky not to concede. You got to think odds, just percentages. We're not going to get that lucky again. When you're clearing it, just boot it the other way. I don't get it. It's not that hard. Just literally just swing a boot at it, man. Get it out of here. Some of our clearances were garbage, though, where they're dropping right to the edge of the box. Dana says, yeah, maybe Heaven instead of Euro. He's better box defender. Heaven, I think, is a little better on the ball too, and you can tell he just feels he's very comfortable on the ball. He's like Maguire in that he'll drive the ball all the way into the opposition half if he has to. He has got a good pass on him. I think in the next couple of years he could definitely come in and replace Licha as that kind of ball playing center back. He does have a little bit more physicality than Licha. Lawrence is going with a 2-0 home win, emphasis on defense. Yeah, it's going to be. This was the 3 at the back derby early in the season, and now it is not. So it's going to be interesting. Debas says Cunha lost most carries at risky places. Yeah, Cunha will lose the ball, same way that Bruno will lose the ball. And it did frustrate me against Everton that Cunha, like, he had a chance to play in Sesko. Sesko really should have had a hat trick against Everton. If Cunha had played him in, it was basically the carbon copy of the ball that Mbumo played. Cunha just decided, I'm going to take on all these defenders myself. If I'm Sesko in that situation, I'm making a beeline 30 yards across the pitch straight into Cunha. I'm picking him up by the scruff of his neck, and I'm saying, square the ball. I'm going to square you in the nuts, dude. And yeah, so Cunha's got to start passing the ball a little bit more. It does my head in. I like the confidence, but he would, if we just learn how to pass and move a little bit, we could probably have at least an extra big chance created in each match. You never know what that could lead to, man. But Danny's going 4-1. Yeah, let me know your score predictions now, too. Let's talk about scores. Let me know what you guys think. Palace are struggling to score goals right now. They've literally scored only one goal in 4 out of their last 5. They did just play yesterday as well. But we also saw against Everton that maybe too much time in between games is not ideal for us. We can't do that. We've kept 2 clean sheets in our last 3 games, though. Lamens is in amazing form as well, which always makes you feel really good. I am going to actually agree with Lawrence. I am going to go 2-0 United here. But ask me again like 10 minutes into the match, and that might change. Because if we start that match like we did against Everton, I might swiftly call it like a 1-1 or a 1-0 because we can't show up like that. Like, that's just embarrassing. But I'm going to go 2-0. Dave's going 4-1. Rob said 3-1 United as well. Debasa says he had 3 passes. Yeah, he definitely could have passed any point in time. Stephanie says, ideally we go 3 up, make some changes, protect players for Wednesday. That's right. We got midweek match right around the corner too. I completely forgot about that. We're squeezing them in there, aren't we? Yes, 55 watching, guys. I want to see those likes go up. It does make me feel all warm and fuzzy. We are close. A couple days I will be able to give away some more memberships for free. Depending on, I'm only allowed to give away 10 per month, and I already did that earlier in the month. So, but keep those like buttons going, you guys. It does help the channel grow. We are on the road to 4K, and I would love to see us get there before the end of the season. Debasi says 3-0 and a clean sheet for our star boy. Yeah, Sen Lamens, man. How much of a bargain was he this summer, man? What a great goalkeeper. Having a really good match. Stephanie's going 5-0 United. Big up, Steph. Yeah, a lot of people going with clean sheets here. Debasi says, worst case scenario, 1-0 United, winning but struggling. Yeah, I would love, as Stephanie said earlier, love to get the double on these as well. It's been a while since we've seen that. Villa, United, Chelsea, and Liverpool all fighting for a Champions League spot. And 4 does not go into 2, unfortunately. You've got to think City and Arsenal will take the top 2. Here are the final fixtures for each of these sides as we head into the last leg of this season here. We are coming into the home stretch. We have got some big fixtures in there, as you can see right now. Wolves and Villa kick off here in about 10 minutes, but then Villa have Chelsea. Then they've got to come to Old Trafford. They got West Ham, Forest, Sunderland, Fulham, Spurs, and then poor Villa. The final two matches of the season are against Liverpool and City, and so Villa could drop a lot of points. We still get to play Chelsea again. We still get to play Liverpool again as well. The rest of it is pretty straightforward, and I don't mean it's easy. I just mean it's pretty straightforward. I don't think Newcastle are very good either. Chelsea have Arsenal this weekend, which could be a big help for us. And then they also have to go to. They also have to play City, and they have to play us again, and Liverpool. Chelsea have to play pretty much everybody again as well. And Liverpool still have to come back to us and Chelsea as well. So Liverpool and United probably have the easier run in, you'd say, out of the four coming the rest of the season. Plus, Chelsea and Liverpool are still in the FA Cup, and they're all in Europe as well. And so that maybe that's an advantage for us that we don't have the extra fixtures. They do, which means extra fatigue, extra risk of injury, extra strain on that squad depth as well. You've got to think they've got to. You're getting to the point for some of these clubs, maybe like Villa, especially. You're going to have to prioritize something, right? If anyone is almost a dead cert to drop points amidst all this, you'd have to think it's Aston Villa. Injuries to key players, 1 win in their last 5 in all comps. They are struggling to score. Not my club, not my problem though. But it's a big situation here going on. Debasi said, "What we got?" Lawrence says, "I forgot about next Wednesday. What rotation do you suggest?" I mean, this could be the first situation where Carrick might have to rotate, right? Just because of the fixture schedule. So again, I would like to see him go smart, start Sesko, get up by a couple goals, and then rotate. I mean, bring on Ahmad, bring on Xerxes, bring on Ugarte, whatever, take off Casemiro with like a half hour to go. That would be ideal. Because I always want to start strong. This isn't, no offense. This doesn't care about a cup to like Oxford United. Every draw, even draws now are losses. Anything but a win right now into the end of the season is a loss. Start strong, get up by a couple of goals, ideally 3, and then we can take some players off, like your Casemiros, like Bruno, even if we can. If Mount's even somewhat fit, he can bring him on as well. We don't have a ton of options right now. We got guys like Fletcher on the bench. I don't know if Lacey's going to be back in. Obviously, his brother's got all that stuff going on. So we'll see. Danny thinks we're going to drop points against Newcastle. I hope not. We beat them. Granted, we went up 1-0 and parked the bus for an entire second half. Dylan and I were at that match Boxing Day. It was not a fun atmosphere. A lot of grumbles in the crowd. Tobias says, look at Chelsea's fixtures. Yeah, Chelsea they're going to have some fun. They've got to play pretty much everybody in the top 6. We just get Liverpool and we get Chelsea again, and Villa, I guess. Newcastle could be a bit of a banana skin though, but you never know. The way we're playing right now under Michael Carrick, you never count us out. And they've all got Europe as well, like I said, and some of them even have domestic cups. So could be a big advantage for us. We just have to make sure we keep the momentum up. Carrick's got to get smart with his team selection. He's got to be spot on with his tactics. We've got to up the tempo, I think, and take advantage. We can't let teams who sit in these blocks get time to get back into shape. We've got to get that ball forward quickly. And so I think Sesko on the pitch is going to be big help for us, not just because he's scoring goals, but because having an actual striker on the pitch to take up spaces, to win those headers, to win the ball in mid. And you saw him like as a focal, even when he came on, even just in the build-up. Before he was there, we were trying to go long. When he came on, we were able to play it short. He was able to kind of link it up, kind of back to goal. It was him playing like that. Back to goal, wins the ball, lays it off to Shaw, who finds Cunha, who finds Mbumo, and then Sesko turns and burns, runs 35 kilometers an hour to get on the end of that shot. Like having that, it's like the bounce pass, but the striker playing as that number 6. And that's what you need a striker to do. And without Sesko on the pitch, we don't see that happen very often. So I just like having that presence on the pitch personally. It brings a little more balance to the side. But what are you going to do? Basuli Leo, welcome. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome to the channel. Big up, man. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Always love seeing the new faces. We are on the road to 4K, you guys. So I'm going 2-0. A lot of you guys are going for a United win. Nobody's predicted a loss, I think. Let me go and check the poll here. 96% of you are going with a United win. 4% of you are going with a draw. Nobody voted for Palace to win. That's awesome. So we're going to end it there, you guys. Hopefully, we'll be back here Sunday talking about 3 points. I like to think we will. It all is going to be about team selection and tactics. So again, start Sesko, in my opinion, play a little faster, and I think that will be just fine personally. But you never know. You never want to take anything for granted. So that is going to do it for me, though, you guys. I appreciate everybody jumping in today. I know the afternoons, Fridays, and stuff, not everybody's got the time, but it does make me feel all warm and fuzzy to see everybody taking the time out to do this. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Check those memberships as well. It is the best way to get involved in the channel. We do have a WhatsApp group as well for members, so always a pleasure to see people jumping in there. 20% off last day for the United vs. Everybody sale. You'll see a link pinned in the comments as well. But enjoy the rest of your Friday, you guys. Whatever you're getting up to, stay safe, have fun, though, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.